welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So today I have another exciting haul to share with you. These are the fragrances that I purchased in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And there are some winners and there are also a few that didn't work out for me or didn't work out as well as I hoped they would. So let's get started. The first one I'm going to share with you is from Alexandra J, and I already shared with you a fragrance from this house in my last haul, which was Iris Violet, a fragrance that I really loved. And so after trying it out and liking it as much as I did, I decided to try something else from this house. And this time I chose Rose Alba. So again, absolutely stunning packaging, even if it is slightly excessive. So inside of the first box, you have second box. Let's take it out. Here's the second box. You open it up and the bottle is inside. So let me take it out. Here's the bottle. So again, this is called Rose Alba. And so the notes in this fragrance are bergamot, peach, plum, rose, sandalwood, black pepper, musk, and woody notes. And I have to say that this is another winner from this house. I really love this fragrance. Of course, as you can tell by the name and by the notes that I read, this fragrance is about rose, but it's not just about rose. You have rose in a beautiful combination with other fruits. So there's peach, plum, there's bergamot, so citruses. But what really makes this rose very interesting is the pepper note. So there is black pepper, and you can definitely smell it from beginning of this fragrance to the end. It is a spicy, fruity rose. It is somewhat sweet, but not very sweet. Definitely not jammy. It's a really interesting rose. Like I said, very peppery rose, kind of spicy rose. And I kept thinking, you know, as the fragrance started drying down on my skin, I kept thinking this really reminds me of something. And I think what the base of this fragrance kind of reminds me of is some Mancera fragrances. I think it's a kind of sort of similar base to some of the Manceras that I've tried. I could be wrong, but that's kind of the impression that I get. But very beautiful, spicy, fruity rose. Beautiful. I think this would be a rose type of fragrance that's suitable for any time of the year. This is not too sweet, and so you can wear it in warm weather, but it is also not too light, so you can wear it in a cold weather. This is an all-season type of fragrance, and like I said, another winner from this house. Yes, the bottle is still slightly tacky, but it is quite substantial compared to Montal, which what it originally reminded of. You know, those ones are very light, as if you're holding empty bottle in your hands. This one is quite heavy. So Rose Alba from Alexandra J is the first one. Second one is a fragrance that I have been interested in for a very long time, and I don't think, as far as I know, and please somebody, if you know otherwise, definitely let me know in the comments below, but I don't think this line is sold anywhere in Canada. At least I haven't been able to find it. And I'm talking about the private line from Dior, so Maison Dior line. And I've been interested in trying this fragrance for a long time. I couldn't find it anywhere. And so I've kind of resigned to not having it. And then unexpectedly, I saw somebody selling it. So this is not a brand new bottle. This is kind of a, I guess we would say, a partial bottle, although it is there's more than half of the juice is still inside. But they were selling it. I definitely wanted to try it, so I purchased it. The fragrance I'm talking about is Fave Delicieuse. So this is the outside box. Let's open it. The bottle is inside. So you can see about 80% is still here, which is more than enough for me. I mean, these bottles are huge. I think it's 120 ml. And so the notes in here, and there are quite a lot. There's tonka, vanilla, cacao, caramel, lavender, sour cherry, praline, milk, benzoin, mint, sandalwood, leather, cedar, jasmine, freesia, bergamot. Okay, a lot of notes. Of course, I think this fragrance is really about tonka, and it is beautiful. It is very much unisex because it is not overly sweet. What surprised me in this is that among all of these notes, there is a note of mint listed, and I sort of I didn't pay a lot of attention to this note, to be honest. It was mixed somewhere in the middle. You know how on Fragrantica they identify what notes people smell the most in a fragrance, and so this was somewhere in the middle or even towards the end, and I sort of didn't pay much attention to it. But the interesting thing is that in the opening, I can smell mint very, very clearly. It is very evident to me, which I never expected to smell. And I can't say that mint overall is a favorite note of mine. It is not, but it really doesn't bother me in this fragrance, and it disappears fairly quickly, which I'm happy about. This is a very enveloping, very seductive fragrance to me. I find there's something mysterious about it. It's kind of, you have a little bit of everything, and you have this blend where you don't know exactly what you have in it, and yet you really, really like it. And the other interesting thing is that the more I wear it, the more I like it. Like the longer it is on my skin, the more I like it. I think with time, more sweetness comes out, and it's really this beautiful sweet tonka with benzoin, with sandalwood. There is milk in here, and I definitely feel a touch of lactonic quality to it, which I really, really like in my fragrances. So this is beautiful, beautiful fragrance. I am thrilled to finally have it as part of my collection. This is outstanding. I've worn it already probably 2 or 3 times since I got it, and I just got it very recently, so I have been enjoying it very, very much, and performance on it is excellent as well. This lasts for a long time and projects nicely as well, so very happy with this purchase. Next one should not come as a surprise if you watched my channel for a while. This is a fragrance that I reviewed, or I reviewed a sample that I had, and I said that from this house, this was my absolute #1 choice. I am talking about Rosé All Day from Gallagher Fragrances. Yes, I purchased the full bottle because it was just a must. I absolutely loved the sample. I have to say the box and the presentation slightly disappointed me, if I'm being completely honest. This is a very kind of cheapy looking simple box that actually ripped as soon as I tried to open it. So yes, for the price that they charge for this fragrance, I think the packaging could have been slightly better. But let's look at the bottle, and like I said, I've talked about this one already. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. So this is the bottle. And so there are, again, quite a few notes in here, but the main ones that stand out to me are apple crisp, honey, brown sugar, rose. This is a kind of a beautiful combination of rose and sour apples dipped in honey. So on one hand, you have sour apples, but then you have honey, which makes it sweet. So you have this amazing combination of sour and sweet, and then you add a bit of rose on top of that. This is so, so beautiful. This is definitely a beast. Performance in every way is absolutely outstanding. I am, again, thrilled to add it to my collection. Next, I'm going to mention 2 fragrances that have been talked about on YouTube in recent time quite a bit. I've heard many people mention both as their favorites. The first one is from Dolce & Gabbana, and this is the only one intense. Now, I have a tester, so it comes in this white box. The bottle itself is a beautiful black bottle, very sleek looking. I really love the aesthetic of the bottle. And I have the original, the only one, which I absolutely love. One of my favorite designer fragrances. I have tried, I think they also have the Only One 2, which comes in kind of a red bottle, which I've tried, and I liked that one as well. And so many people have mentioned this one as their favorite that I just kind of succumbed to the hype, and I thought, okay, I have to try it for myself. So what is this fragrance about? So let's look at the notes first of all. There is mandarin, apple, neroli, orange blossom, coconut, jasmine, vanilla, cedar, cashmere wood. Let me start with this. I don't understand why this is released as a flanker of the Only One, because to me, these are two completely separate, different fragrances. There is absolutely zero similarities, zero. This is a completely separate fragrance. So in my opinion, it should have been released as a separate fragrance, not as a flanker of an already existing scent. Okay, that's besides the point. When I first got this and I sprayed it, and as I mentioned before, I let my husband and my daughter smell as well. They really enjoy trying these new scents and giving me their opinions. So when my husband first smelled this, he said, this smells like very artificial and synthetic grapes. He said, this is absolutely the worst fragrance in your collection. You cannot keep it. So he had a pretty strong reaction to it. My reaction is not quite as strong, but I have to tell you that for this one, I was also quite disappointed, and I don't think it's the worst fragrance I've ever smelled, but I also don't like it. I understand where he's getting these grapes. I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe the combination of all the white flowers with coconut that's creating this strange smell. It is kind of grapey, coconutty, somewhat sweet, but it's just, to me, is a strange combination. And so I have to say that I don't agree with the hype on this one. This is not my cup of tea. Please remember, these are just my opinions. I know that many of you love this fragrance, which is wonderful, but for me, this is definitely a miss. Again, I don't think it's quite as horrible as my husband described, but it's also not a scent that's going to stay in my collection. So this one is going to go. I'm not going to keep it. Okay, next one is another fragrance that many have been mentioning lately, and this is from Chopard. It's called Cashmere. So I got a small 30 ml bottle, which is so tiny and so cute, I have to say. Look at this little thing. It is absolutely tiny. And the notes in here are, there are a lot of notes. This is kind of old school fragrance, I think, where there were a ton of notes mixed together. So there are a lot of fruity notes, there are a lot of floral notes. There's vanilla, tonka, benzoin, amber, patchouli, musk, sandalwood. And what I've heard about this fragrance is that it's kind of a beautiful vanilla with apricots or peaches, something like that. And it is kind of similar to how I imagined it to be. There's definitely vanilla, although it's not super sweet vanilla, so it's not overpowering at all. You definitely get fruity notes in here, which I think are the mix of apricots and peaches. You definitely get some spices in here as well. You get a little bit of patchouli in the background. So overall, it is sort of how I imagined it, and it is how it was described, and it is nice, but I don't know if it goes beyond the nice point for me. It is nice, pleasant, but I think my collection is too big to keep something based on just nice and pleasant. I really need to love a scent or really be impressed with the scent or think that it's something out of the box and something really unique to keep it in my collection. So I haven't made up my mind 100% about this one yet. I don't know for sure if it's gonna stay or go, because it is, like I said, very nice and very pleasant, but I don't think it's quite interesting enough or quite unique enough to stay. So I'm kind of undecided at the moment. So I can't say really that it's a miss, but it's also not a win. We will see how this one will play out. Okay, we're left with two more. And what kind of haul would it be without another fragrance from Maison Lancôme line? I think you know me well enough by now to know that I absolutely love this line, and I've added another fragrance to my collection from this line, and it's the one that I've been looking for quite some time. I think it is discontinued, and it is definitely not listed on the official Lancôme website, and it has been out of stock on all the discounters as well. And so I'm talking about Parfait Roses. You know, as a lover of Maison Lancôme and as a lover of rose scents, of course, this has to be part of my collection. As always, the bottle itself looks like all the other Maison Lancôme fragrances. It is stunning. Here it is. And just by opening the box, I already can smell the fragrance. It is quite strong. So this one, I haven't had a chance to wear it yet because this one just arrived basically yesterday. Let me tell you about the notes. We have rose, liquor, vanilla, benzoin, aldehydes, tonka, orris, pink pepper, olibanum. And it is about rose, but it is very different from Roses Barbaranza. This one is kind of, the interesting thing is there is no honey listed in here, but to me, this rose feels like it's a rose dipped in honey with a little bit of liquor, although it is not as boozy as Roses Barbaranza. And I definitely get something interesting from aldehydes. I think it's the aldehydes that bring something interesting to this. Aldehydes are very light, very pleasant type of aldehydes. This is not Chanel number 5. This is very, very interesting, sweet, enveloping, kind of warm type of rose. I think this is more cozy type of rose. Like I would say Parfait Roses would be more of a daytime scent for me, whereas Roses Barbaranza is more of a nighttime scent. I think that's how I would distinguish them, although the scents in themselves are completely different, even though both are about rose, but very, very different. Does this beat Roses Barbaranza for me? No. Roses Barbaranza is still, in my mind, the absolute best fragrance from this line, at least for me, and definitely my favorite rose scent from this line. But don't get me wrong, Parfait Roses is also beautiful fragrance, and I'm definitely looking forward to wearing this one and testing it out more. And now we're down to the last fragrance, and this one is very interesting. It's a house that I don't hear anyone talk about, and a fragrance that I don't hear anyone talk about. In fact, when I was thinking about purchasing it, although this one is not a blind buy, here's a surprise for you. I had a sample of this, but still, when I wanted to purchase it, I was still interested to see reviews on it, and I could find very, very few videos where this fragrance was mentioned. And the funny thing is with me and samples, what often happens to me is that I get a sample, I try it out, and I might think, yeah, I really don't like it, or yeah, it's kind of nice, but nothing special, and I put it down. And then in time, I come back to it and I try it again, and I can be completely wowed by it, which is what happened with this one. I remember I got the sample sometime in the summer. I tried it. I thought, yeah, it's kind of interesting, but nothing that I wanted to purchase. And then recently I was playing with my samples again, tried it out, and thought, wow, what was I thinking? This is right up my alley. This is so, so amazing and so delicious. So the house I'm talking about is Jeroboam, and the fragrance is Insulo. Now let me know if any of you have tried anything from this house, if you have heard about this house, because to me, this is completely new. And so let's open the box. This comes in 30 ml. I think this is Extrait de Parfum, if I'm not mistaken. So the bottle is very cute and really tiny, but there's 30 ml in here. And when you look at the notes breakdown, this is very, very simple. We have vanilla, jasmine, and musk. But in this case, I would say don't rely on the notes. For those of you that love gourmand scents, I think this is stunning. This to me smells like sort of burnt sugar, slightly burnt sugar or burnt caramel. You know, when you're baking something, I don't know much about baking, but I know that sometimes when you bake, you kind of put sugar with water or something else, and it can start getting, it can burn very easily. So this is like when it's just starting to burn, or if you have kind of a slightly burnt caramel, this is kind of the sweetness that I get. And there is, I guess there is jasmine somewhere very, very far in the background, which kind of slightly tones down the sweetness, but it's such an interesting sweetness. It is gourmand for sure, but it is, again, unique to my collection because I don't have anything that smells exactly like this. Like this is, again, kind of burnt sugar, burnt caramel kind of smell. Really, really interesting, delicious. And what really pushed me to get this fragrance is one day when I was testing the sample, I sprayed it on me, and I had somebody stop by my house, actually somebody that was getting a couple of fragrances that I was decluttering. And so I went outside, you know, to give her the fragrances, to talk to her. And as soon as I came out, she said, wow, what is this fragrance you're wearing? It's like all around you. It is so beautiful. It is so delicious. You have to tell me what you're wearing. And you know, to be honest, I don't often get compliments on my fragrance. I don't know, I just don't. And so I was, you know, quite inspired by that compliment. I already liked the scent, and I was already pretty sure I was going to purchase it. But, you know, after hearing her impression of it, I definitely knew for sure that I was going to. So again, for those of you that love sweet scents and enjoy gourmands, I would suggest strongly looking into this fragrance. This is really beautiful, delicious, and slightly unique in my opinion. So that's it. That completes this haul. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and please let me know what have you been purchasing lately. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon in my next video. Bye.